Welcome to the PSAV Inspiration Cafe. I'm privileged to share the screen today with Mary Byers, who's President, CEO, head of Mary Byers Incorporated, and most importantly, author of the book Race for Relevance. So Mary, help me. Tell me about the book. Tell me about the subject.
Race for Relevance came from my work as an association consultant in listening to a lot of volunteers and staff from associations all over the country and some of the things that they were struggling with. So we've identified some of the challenges, and those range from the time challenge that volunteers are facing these days to new competition that associations have never faced before, to how technology is changing what members expect and how they expect it. And those challenges then led us into 5 radical changes that we propose associations take a look at so that they can remain relevant in the future.
Are associations increasingly aware that relevance is a key issue?
Many of them know that they're having difficulty maintaining members. They have non-dues revenue that's declining. And because of those challenges, they're realizing that it's not business as usual in the association market. And because of that, they're starting to look around and ask themselves, what's happening, why is it happening, and most importantly, what do we need to do about it?
In some cases, there are associations whose members must attend, medical associations, but there are more associations where attending the event, I guess, is optional.
Right.
Is that where the attendance is falling off?
In some cases, but even in the cases where somebody has to attend, there are more options than ever. I don't have to go to a face-to-face meeting anymore to get my continuing education units. Sometimes I can do it online. And in the medical profession, some states allow it to be 50% of your mandatory continuing education can be done online. So I have more choices than ever before. And so as meeting planners are competing with all of the new entrants into the field, they really have to take a look at what will make somebody give up both their valuable time and money to actually come to a face-to-face meeting.
The relationship between the member and the association didn't start with the meeting. It started, I'm guessing, with shared values, or I need that certification, or it's networking with the right people, on top of which there's the meeting.
Right.
So rejecting the meeting isn't a rejection of the association's values necessarily.
Not at all, not at all. And in many cases, it is more a reflection of perceived return on investment. And going back to the whole time issue, volunteers are more, and members are more pressed for time than ever before. So if I'm going to take 5 or 6 days out of my office and come join you at your meeting, I better get something for that.
Right. And that's the relevant part. That's the value part.
Exactly.
Have you seen, what are the most profound changes you've seen in the association business in general, beyond that? I know there's been a huge growth in terms of social, digital and social media.
That's absolutely one profound thing, and that's not going to change in the future. But what we're finding often is that some of those peripheral changes are made more difficult because we don't have the structure in place in terms of being able to govern our association, manage it tightly, and to be, there's a lot of bureaucracy in associations, and takes a long time to make a decision. It takes a very long time to make change. We need to get a structure that allows an association to capitalize on new technology as soon as they see it, not to have 5 committee meetings and 2 board meetings to make the decision, yay, let's capitalize on it. They've got to be able to move quickly, and that's only going to accelerate in the future. As
you look at the association makeup, a lot of young people who are entering the business must at times get frustrated with the pace and speed of change.
Very frustrated, very frustrated. And that's one of the reasons that many associations are really, really reaching for how to engage their younger members. And younger members are online, they are tech savvy, they were born with something in their, some sort of device in their hands, they're used to using it. But if you look at the average age on an association board, some of those people are very late adopters, and they're intimidated by the change in technology. So those that are governing the association have a disconnect between the future leaders of the association. And one of the challenges is we need to find out how to get more young people involved in a meaningful way.
So, if I may, the first thing an association should do to get itself reinvigorated is to call you, Mary Byers. But
that'd be okay. But I don't have all the answers. Okay. I just know that an association has to start asking questions they've never asked.
And what are some of the questions? Just 2 or 3 things a self-assessment an association might do to know whether, oops, we got to call Mary, or there are certain things they can do on their own. But what are the 2 or 3?
One of the first questions would be: are we really engaging our volunteers? When they come, are they motivated? Are they giving ideas? Are they interested? I just worked with a group a month ago that said we have to have volunteer involvement, but they have 60 on their board, and out of those 66 of them slept through the meeting. So that tells me there's a problem. There's not engagement like there needs to be. And sometimes the more people you have, the less engagement there is. So there's a fear about going to a smaller governing structure, but in many cases, that's what the association needs to do to energize. As far as a meeting is concerned, I'd be taking a look at what have we changed lately? What are we doing that's no longer working? In many cases, they know things aren't working, they just don't know what to do about it. What kind of obstacles do we have to making change? Lots of easy questions, not such easy answers, but if you start asking the questions, then those, I believe, pave the way to change, whether it's in the meeting or the structure of an association.
Is it possible that associations believe that because they are a like-minded community, so our members join because we all share the same issues, we are worried about this subject, or we want to learn more about this, or we have to be certified, whatever, that because they are a like-minded community, they don't have to worry about creating content that's relevant and interesting?
I think in some cases that is definitely how they operate. We've got our members, they're a captive audience, they're not going to go anywhere. But I think that's a very dangerous way to look at things. And I think the economy in many ways has shown us how dangerous that is. It has accelerated for associations that were headed into a downturn. The economy accelerated that. And for associations that were really strong and proactive in providing value, in many cases they survived a little bit easier than an association that hasn't been very proactive.